All right, gang, we back, and today we are gonna do a 5 kg batch. That's 5,000 grams for you Americans. Now, last time in our last video, we had talked about doing a 5,000 kilogram batch dough size to really max out the Ooni Halo Pro spiral mixer. And that's what we're gonna do for y'all today. Enough of y'all left a comment saying to do it, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. If you watched my last video where we did an 80% hydrated dough at 1 kilogram, we pushed this mixer to the limit. It was an hour-long mix. We may have accidentally taken a little too long for that, but regardless, it goes to show how strong this puppy can go. All right, so what we're gonna do today is an easy mix, straightforward mix. But because the dough bowl is gonna be overloaded and full, it's gonna work more efficiently to get it all incorporated. I actually just mixed some dough right before this, so it's not a sparkly, squeaky clean mix, sir, but it'll do the job still. What we're gonna do is add our sourdough starter first. It's not gonna be a fully naturally leavened dough, but it is gonna have some sour notes to it, along with a good old-fashioned 3-day yeasted dough. I really like a 3-day fermentation on my dough. You can totally tell the flavor from 2 days to 3 days. I find that 2 days is a little flat. On the 3rd day, you really start to get some complexity. And then just adding some sourdough starter gives it even more complexity. Now, I could go naturally leavened completely, and I often do. But for this pop-up that I'm hosting this Saturday, I'm actually going to be doing some pan pizzas. So the dough that we're going to be making right now is going to be part sourdough, part commercial yeast for the pan doughs, so that we can go ahead and get a nice rise. I find that when you just do straight sourdough, you don't get that good of a rise. Like, the dough can only rise so much before the gluten starts getting too acidic and weakens. So we have 280 grams of sourdough starter. I think that's a little bit too much. 16 grams more, it's not gonna be the end of the world. This might end up being a 20-minute video because I gotta weigh everything out. But essentially it's 10%, 264 is 10% of my flour weight. I'm gonna be using 2,007 grams of Tony Gimignani flour. Really good stuff here, super strong, high protein content. From Central Milling. It's not their organic line, but it is a workhorse. When I was considering whether I should go organic flour or not, let me get my dog real quick. Hey, motherfucker! No, I'm just kidding. Goose Goose, come here! When I was deciding whether or not I should go organic flour, yeah, it might be better for your health, for sure. Yeah, I might go there. I'm not like stuck in my ways and I won't go organic. I did meet with Nicky Juice of Central Milling Flour, and he did make a good case for it. But at the end of the day, not everything that I'm making is organic, for one. And two, I really love the Tony Gimignani flour. And I don't see myself changing it anytime soon. And if that's not organic, then why should my whole wheat be organic, Especially when this is my primary flour, the Tony Gimignani. 2,007 grams. And so I was using an organic whole wheat at first, which was the High Mountain, I think. But I ended up just switching to the Red Rose, 633. I am a huge proponent of weighing everything individually in their individual respective bowls. Like, if I had been following my process, I would have weighed the whole wheat here. But I decided that I could be smart and just not do that. But what happens if your scale dies on you? Or what if you spill your flour and blah, 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 blah. You gotta start over. So don't do what I just did. But the reason why I did that was because I realized in my last mix, I didn't have an extra bowl for my salt. And so I needed this bowl for salt. And I believe it's about 80 grams. 79.2. Yeah. Usually I try to be a good boy and do 2.5% salt when I'm doing sourdough. That like little 10% of sourdough, I need a little bit more, so like 2.8. But because I'm doing a pop-up and I want my dough to shine to people who have never had it before, I'm gonna go the full 3%. Yeah, it's not good for your health. It is so not good. It's so much salt. This is a lot. Like whenever you read salt contents on the nutritional information, they're talking about milligrams. We're talking about grams here, yo. 560 milligrams in 1 jar of tomatoes. This is like 10x more. It's crazy amount of salt. It is. But anyway, what can you do if you want good flavorful dough? We're gonna do, so we did the sourdough inside the bowl already. We have 2,000 grams of water, 2007 to be exact. It's the same amount of Tony Gimignani flour that I use as the water, which is 76% of my total flour weight. The total hydration goes up to like 77 or 78. Once you factor in the sourdough starter that we put in. Where's the little extra water bottle that I had here? There you go. This can only fit so much. 2007. $2017, 10 grams ain't gonna hurt us. And then I have right here a 1,000th scale. I think this right here is great for salt, sugar, oil. But when you're trying to do yeast, in my honest opinion, when I'm making a batch extremely small, we're talking about like sometimes less than a gram of yeast, sometimes less than 2 grams. And you want to be super spot on with your yeast. We need 7.9 grams, which is a good amount. But for 2,000 grams of flour, it's not a ton. We're at 7.99, so we're just right under 8. That's going to be okay. Okie doke. And then I'm going to pour a little bit of my flour in after we get the water. And we'll start mixing. So I'm not going to pour in all the flour right now, because if I were to, because the water and the flour haven't been absorbed together yet, it will have a good chance of overflowing. So especially once the dough hook goes in there, the flour just literally started to like come up a little bit. So what we'll go ahead and do is turn on the mixer first. Love that sound. Love that light. We're gonna do just a quick little mix at 20%. That way, I mean, at this, honestly, I could probably crank it up to 100 and it would be fine because I didn't pour everything in here. But really the only reason why you shouldn't be doing it this quickly is if your bowl is super full and you don't want all the ingredients splashing together. But because we have a healthy amount of flour out here and it's not fully full, I'm at 75% and it's not really tripping. So yeah, it looks like mush right now, lots of water in there. Go ahead and start to add a little bit more flour, drop it down to 50. But I wish I had a time. Maybe it's been 5 minutes. We should be done in about 10 to 15 minutes, y'all, so just stick with me for a little bit here. We'll go ahead and make sure to show you the dough. We'll make sure to, what else? Talk some more tips about balling dough, how to know when you're done mixing, all of that. So make sure to stay to the end. Anyhow, I got a lot of comments on the mixer stuff videos. This is probably gonna be the third one that I've put out. Some of y'all were talking about like me being biased. Obviously, it's gonna be a biased review, but hopefully, and it's a biased review because I'm an Ooni ambassador, but hopefully you can see that I don't use only Ooni products, especially when I know that there's a good one out there that will serve my needs a little bit better. At the end of the day, this can't go to thousands. And so that's why I have this. There was a comment, I've actually received a couple comments. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go with the foam mug. Great, go with that. It is a great machine. I've had it for quite some time. But at the end of the day, this is priced great. I don't even want to try come off as a salesy person. DYOR, do your own research. Trust me. I think you're going to be happy with what you find from a price perspective. And after using this for as much as I have, I'm pretty happy with it. Very happy with it. All right, so all of our flour is in. The dough is a mixin'. I'm gonna go ahead and just add my salt now too. Usually I would have reserved a little bit of water and a little bit of salt, but we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go. Also, I hope some of you all are happy that we're doing this 5 kg mix, because the pop-up that I'm doing, I totally could have done 2 mixes in one go with the foam mug and this. I needed about like 40-ish dough balls. Yeah, maybe 50. So I knew I needed to do 2 mixes regardless, because it wouldn't all fit in this. But because I wanted to show off this 5 kilogram mix for y'all, I needed to make sure that I broke it down into 2 separate mixes, because I can't put the foam mug here and run 2 extension cords. No. I also didn't want to be splitting my time up trying to like talk over both mixers. So if you appreciate me having to do 2 separate mixes on the Halo Pro just so I can get this video out for y'all, when I could have just done 1 big mix on 2 machines, leave some love in the comment and write F you haters. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. But yeah, we're doing a 5 kg mix here. Like I said, it shouldn't take long, because what's gonna happen is, because it's so full, this dough bowl, this mixing bowl, because it's so full, it's gonna work more efficiently to get everything mixed up, right? The hook and the bowl aren't fighting to try to get the dough mixed. All of that. It's just like, it's a weird look, but anyway, you get it when you get it, right? Also, since our last video, I went ahead and put a couple boxes of t-shirts underneath this table so I wouldn't shake as much. I do recommend getting a sturdier table for those of you, maybe a sturdy countertop for those of you getting a spiral mixer or any sort of mixer. Really, I've seen KitchenAids be jumping. And but look, at least right now, the table is for the most part staying right here. There's a little bit of movement, but it's not a ton. My last video, I'm pretty sure the table went outside of the garage by the time I was done mixing. But we're at 100 RPMs right now. I'll go ahead and I'll bring y'all a little closer, because one of the questions that I got was, how do you know when the dough is done? And obviously this person right here has never had a spiral mixer before. And give me one quick second. I appreciate your patience here. Yeah, you can, ooh, look at that movement, sexy. You can see that it's a little shaggy, shagadelic. It doesn't look super smooth. So that's when you know it's not done yet. We will see in a few moments that it's gonna be super smooth, super silky. That's one sign. The other sign is we're gonna be seeing some window painting. So we'll show you what that is. And we'll start to hear some popping noise. Kind of sounds like this. Yeah, I know, I'm good at that. Once you start to see those three things, actually there's a fourth thing. When you can touch the dough and it doesn't like stick to your fingers, that's when you know you are done. Here's a little trick to help you make it work a little bit more efficiently too. You can stick your scraper right here to try to clean off some of the edges. Eventually your dough will come together to a point where it can like act as this glue and just pick everything up from the sides. But I find that if you just do this, run it through, capture some of that, it makes mixing faster, more efficient, but also it makes cleanup so much faster too. So if you can tell, it's starting to look a little smooth, but it's still not as smooth as we want. We don't want any like clumps of flour. We want a very smooth dough ball. We're at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. I saw in one of the Facebook groups like, oh my goodness, don't get your dough past 72 degrees. And I'm like, have you ever mixed a dough batch before? Or are you just regurgitating words you heard on the internet? Temperature is like a gas pedal. The higher the temperature, the harder your foot is on the gas. And it'll cause it to ferment faster. But there are things that you can do to get your foot off that gas pedal. Split your dough batch into smaller containers and then put them in the fridge. Make pizza faster, you know, use less water, whatever the case may be. But like, there's no one fast, hard rule that says you can't go past 72 degrees on your dough mix. Can you mix too hot and kill the yeast? I think theoretically you can. 130 degrees kills yeast, according to ChatGPT. But dude, for you to get to 130 degree mix, the outside temperature must be stupid hot. You've been mixing stupid hot. Unlikely if you're doing this with cold water and cold enough weather. Maybe in the summer we could get there. Maybe on a higher hydration dough we can get there. But even if I've mixed to like 90 before and we've been totally fine. So you can sort of hear that popping already. You can hear it intermittently. I like to think of it like popcorn. You know, in the instructions where it says like your popcorn's done, once you hear the gap between pops start to extend. Like normally when you're microwaving a bag of popcorn, it's like pop, 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 pop. But then it starts to go pop, pop. And once you like hear that gap in pops, you're like, okay, it's done. You want to take it out before it starts to burn. Here, if you start to hear those pops pretty regularly, that's when you know, okay, it's built up a lot of gas. It's good to go. It's still not like fully smooth, but I am hearing some of that popping noise. So if I wanted to, oh, you hear that one? It was a nice little pop. See if the dough is sticking, which it's not. Let's go ahead and check out my window pane. What is a window pane? Basically, you get a piece of dough and you try to stretch it out to a very thin film. And if you can see light pass through without it ripping, then it means that you have some strong gluten development. This one right here could be mixed a little bit longer, I will admit. It's not fully strong, but also too, it's hard to get a nice window pane once the dough has just stopped mixing because it's still very tight. So guaranteed, if we let this rest a little bit, give it a window pane, it'll be good to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and let this rest for another minute. Let this mix for another minute. And I'm gonna go ahead and move the camera back and we'll show you off the dough. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. I'll bring it to you guys. Not super shaggy. Check that out. Oops, almost dropped it. I would have sucked. Check that out. Yeah, buddy. So normally what I would do is I would let this rest for about like 10 minutes, more or less, covered. So I would turn it around, get it covered, but it is now covered. So give it about 5 minutes. I'll turn the camera back on. I won't make you all sit through this. Just to let it rest. What's happening is that like your dough is being mixed and mixed and mixed, and it's being like wound up in this super tight ball. Now what happens is if you were to grab it, it'll rip super easily. If you were to grab it and then try to ball it up, and you essentially are winding it up even more, when you seal the dough balls, because it's so wound up, it's gonna wanna expand and unwind a little bit. So give us about like 5 minutes, we'll turn the camera back on, and we'll ball a dough ball and call it a day. All right, gang, so we back. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Oh, look how freaking strong that is. Look at that puppy. Okay. Here is what I want to show y'all with the window painting. Let's just get one from here. Look at the strength, right? If the gluten wasn't strong, you wouldn't be able to pull this far up. Window pane. Literal window pane means like you could see light shine through the dough when you split it into a thin film, thin membrane. But what we're gonna do, what I like to do, is I don't like to bring all the dough out at once. I'll take out a little bit at a time. And I will start balling my doughs. I need 280 grams per container. There's this game in the pizza world that people do where they'll try to one time it. This was 297, but 268, 280 on the dot. If you can get it all in one go, you're a G. But if you can get it in one go multiple times in a row, you are the Thug Grandmaster OG champion. But no, it's just a little game that I like to play to stimulate myself, and I find other pizzeria operators doing it too. By the way, I'm cutting this piece right now. I didn't look at the scale. Oh, I probably shouldn't have cut it. 255, 283. I like to say plus or minus 5 grams. So 280 would have been okay. 283 would have been okay. Yeah, let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna get this one. Right here. Nope, that's short. 254. 280. 279. Cool, plus or minus 5. Okay, there's this reel on Instagram where they do trick shots, and he'll like miss the first one, or she'll miss the first one, and then afterwards she'll be like, I understand it now. And then they'll make it. This one I didn't understand yet. It was 347. I am super off my game today. It's been a minute, to be honest, since I've made dough. I am off. Ever since Pizza Expo, I've kind of just been like a zombie. I've been a freaking pizza zombie. Man. This dough is definitely a little bit more wet than my last batch, though. It wasn't as precise. So that's throwing me off as well. 279, perfect. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally once I get to the 6th dough that I've cut, and they all fit in the box, I'll go ahead and start rolling them up. 266, 293. Cool, 275, sick. Yeah, I think that everyone balls their dough a little bit differently. Personally, I like the pinkies method, where you put your pinkies together and drag the dough ball to create something taut, and then bang, you're done. That's one. Get a good tight seal in it. When I was in a rush, damn, this dough is super wet. Do a little roll and throw. You can also do that to ensure that you have a nice little seal. You can roll it over itself. And then yeah, that's about it. I mean, honestly, super happy with this mixer. For all you freaking haters in the YouTube comments, the comment section is just a cesspool for negativity. You know, there are definitely some great players out in the comment space. I love you all for your positivity. But some of y'all are nasty, dude. Some, like, nobody asked you that, you know, how you felt about pepperoni. Nobody. Why are you saying ill on a pizza? Your parents ever raised you to say if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all? Anyhow, that is the dough. That is the dough. I'll go ahead and give you a quick close-up, and we'll call this video a done deal. Okay? I appreciate you for tuning in. I love you till next time. Peace.